Okay. So there are two types of interference, as I told you. One is co-channel and second one is adjacent channel interference. So in this class, first we will go through what is co-channel interference. So normally to increase the coverage area, what should we do? To increase the coverage area, either we have to increase a high power transmitting antenna that is being mounted at a very large tower. But in certain point of time, that is not a practical solution for increasing the coverage area, isn't it? So we need to adopt some other strategies. So we can increase the base station transmitter power also. But if we increase the base station transmitter power, what will happen is the signal that is being sent from one base station, it will penetrate to another cell also. Okay. So the base station transmitter power is large. So if you're trying to increase that power, it will also increase the interference into other co-channel cells by the same amount. Which means that there is no net improvement in the quality of the signal. Clear? Now, what will happen if we separate the co-channel cells by some minimum distance to provide sufficient isolation from the propagation of radio signals? Definitely that is going to increase our quality. Okay, so we are trying to increase the co-channel cells distance, that is capital D. The distance between the co-channel cells we are trying to increase. So assume that if all the cell sizes or transmit powers and coverage patterns all remain same, there is no change for the cell size. What do you mean by cell size? Cell size is defined by the radius of the cell. Okay, if your cell is an hexagon, you just imagine you have circumscribed that hexagon by using a circle. You just draw a circle along the corners of the hexagon and mark the radius of that circle. That's nothing but the radius of the cell. So assume that the radius of the cell is being constant and the transmitter power is also going to be constant. Then the co-channel interference is not depending upon the transmitter power at any cost. Okay, then how we are going to decreasing this interference? Only by increasing the co-channel distance. If you have a provision to increase the distance between or the spacing between the two co-channel cells, then it will lead to minimum interference or maximum SIR ratio. If interference is minimum, means SIR ratio will increase. So how you can do this particular approach? So that can be done by using this equation. You know that the quality of this entire cell, it is nothing but determined by using a co-channel reuse ratio, that is D by R. What is D by R? It is a ratio between distance of the co-channel cells divided by the radius of the cell. By using geometry, you have an equation between them. So when you take this R to the left hand side, we will get D by R as √3n. So if you want to increase D, what you have to do? If you want to increase D, you need to increase the cluster size capital N. What is capital N? Capital N is known as cluster size. Cluster size is the number of cells in one cluster. So if you can increase the value of N, you can increase D. Okay, increase D means the co-channel cells are far apart from each other, means minimum interference, so quality will increase. So this D by R ratio is called a Q, or otherwise known as co-channel reuse ratio. Okay, but the thing is that whenever we are maintaining small quality, then only we are getting maximum capacity. Okay. Whenever we are maintaining small quality, then only we are able to obtain maximum capacity. How it is so? That is, small q means small d. Small d means small n. So whenever we are maintaining small cluster size, see, please read this. This is very important. This concept is very important. You have to be, this concept, it should be very much clear for you. If any doubts, you need to ask. Okay. Don't hesitate to ask the doubts. As you can see, if the quality is less, how the quality is going to be less? More interference. More interference means The cells should be close apart. They are very close to each other, means D is very less. If D is very less means, how the D can be less? Only by reducing the cluster size. Reducing the cluster size means the channel sharing factor that will again increase, isn't it? For example, if it is 7 cell reuse factor, what do you mean by 7 cell reuse factor? 7 channels are shared, isn't it? That is the channel that is allocated to one cell. It is nothing but 1/7 of the whole channels available. But if the reuse factor is going to 12, means the cluster size is again increased to 12, then the channels allocated per cell, it will come to 1/12. Channel allocated to per cell, it will come to 1/12, means the total resources available for one cell, it has come down, means capacity reduced. Okay, so reducing n will, what will happen? Reducing n will increase the capacity. Reducing n will increase the capacity because we have come from 12 to 7. Cluster size, whenever it comes from 12 to 7, means that number of channels available per cell, it has increased to 1/7, isn't it? If 7 is less, means 1/7 is large. If 12 is large, means 1/12 is small. So resources available are different for both cases. Clear? So I want to again, insist this. That is, if you are trying to increase the capacity, you need to increase n. Isn't it? That is smaller the cluster size. Okay, smaller the cluster size means it is more the frequency reuse. It is more the frequency reuse because 1/7 is large when compared to 1/12. Okay, so more frequency reuse. In that case, the capacity will be large, but you are compensating in quality. So smaller is Q. So when capacity is large, means quality is less. Same case in the other way, that is, if you are maintaining the large quality, means capacity will be small. Okay, I would like to repeat this once again. Okay, we come to the slide. You write the equation for S by I. I will repeat the above point again later. Okay, you write the equation for S by I. What is S by I? S by I is known as signal to interference ratio. S by I is known as signal to interference ratio. So in numerator, you have a signal strength capital S. In the denominator, we have taken I0 number of interference sources. What is small letter I0? I can show small letter I0 here. I will annotate and show. See, this is your small letter I0, where I0 represents a number of interference sources. Number of interference sources. There can be I0 number of co-channel cells in that entire cluster. Assume that in one cluster or in one cellular system, you will have I0 number of cells sharing the same channels. In that, all these I0 cells will contribute to the interference with respect to our signal. Okay, so I have taken all the interference strength or all the interference signals power from 1 to I0 and then I have summed up. So sigma I equal to 1 to I0 capital II. Is this clear for you? Is this equation clear for you? Then I will share the another PDF from which you have to derive the equation for SIR. If this concept is clear to you, I can proceed with the next.
It's clear, sir.
Okay. Kindly take down this. So this is another way of expressing the same SIR ratio. Because as I told you, the transmitter power is not going to vary. I assume that in all the cells you will have a base station, and these base stations will have an antenna, and those antennas will be having the same power throughout. So there is no change in transmission power. It is going to be constant in all the cells. So the interference ratio, the SIR ratio, is going to depend only on the value of radius and distance. What is capital D? I repeat, I will recall the capital D is nothing but a notation that identifies the distance between the two co-channel cells. Capital R is the radius of the cell that we have taken into consideration. Now I am focusing one cell, and I need to calculate the SIR ratio of that particular cell with regard to the base station. So SIR ratio of the signal received at the base station is nothing but radius of the cell R raised to minus n divided by all the distances we need to consider into account. That is, there are how many co-channel cells we are taking into consideration? There are I0 number of cells which are contributing to the interference. So for all these, we need to consider the value of capital D. That is the distance between those sources from our cell. Okay, we are focusing one cell, and we need to consider the distance between our cell with respect to all I0 number of cells that are contributing to the interference. That is why I have taken Di raised to minus n, where I represents the index of each and every cells that are contributing to interference. So it will be D1, D2, D3 up to Di0 whole raised to minus n. So write what is n? N is the exponent, channel exponent. It depends on the value of n, depends on the characteristics of the channel that we are focusing. It depends upon the environment also. If it is urban, it is some other factor. If it is rural, it is some other factor, like that. Normally, the value of n will range from 2 to 4. The value of n will range from 2 to 4. Okay, it is known as path loss exponent. N is termed as path loss exponent. The value of n will depends on the type of environment where we are considering our cell. It can be 2, it can be 4, 7, like that. But normally we will consider 4 for urban environment. It can be from 2 to 7, 4 to 7, that depends upon the environment. But normally we will consider n as 4 in all the examples because of the urban environment scenario. So please note down, n is known as path loss exponent. Its value is 4. Typically it is 4 to 7, but ideally I will take n as 4. Now, all other cells.
Sir?
Yes, any doubt?
Yes, sir. Sir, in equation,
Yeah.
In the equation, is it whole root of 3n or root of 3 into n, sir?
No, whole root of 3n. Whole root of 3n.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So if I am focusing one cell, and around my cell I am having I0 number of cells that is contributing to the interference, but all those cells which are adjacent to my cell are equidistant. Okay, so all other I0 cells that are contributing to the interference are equidistant from my cell. Then there is no need of putting this notation Di. So D1, D2, D3 up to Di0, everything is going to be same, whose value can be called as D itself. So D plus D plus D, how many Ds are there? How many Ds are there? There are I0 Ds. So if you add all these Ds, I0 times, then summation can be called as, or it can be rewritten as I0 times of D to the power minus n. Isn't it? If you're adding the same factor again and again n times, the product, the summation will be n times of Di. Similarly, here you have I0 times of D to the power minus n. Please write. Take down the derivation. Don't sit idle. Take your notebook and write. Now, the next step, what I will do is, I'll take, since the powers are same, what is a power? Power is called as path loss exponent Its values ranging from 4 to 7 in some cases or 2 to 7 in another cases, but still the typical value or the ideal value for an urban environment can be considered as 4. That will come. Okay, when we are doing some examples, I will take the appropriate value of n. Now you just put n as such. So I will combine these two. So it will become r by d the whole raised to minus n into 1 by I0. Now I need to put this minus as positive. So what I have to do is I take this as reciprocal. R by d raised to minus n is nothing but d by r the whole raised to n whole divided by I0. Now what is d by r? D by r is otherwise known as q, which is equal to root of 3n. It is root of 3n. It's not root 3 into n. It is root of 3n. Okay. So I'll put root of 3n divided by I0. Root 3n whole raised to n divided by I0. So this is the equation for S by I. This is the equation for signal to interference ratio. You know what is I0? I0 are the number of cells that are contributing to our interference. Now, I would like to pinpoint the two important points, whatever we have discussed just now. One is, what is the case if n increase? If you increase n, of course, d will increase. If d increase, you know the cells are far apart from each other, means there is less interference. Less interference means S by I will increase, so quality will increase. But at the same time, the main effect is capacity decreases. Why capacity decrease? Because in one cluster itself, there are more cells. More cells means the available number of channels for one cell will decrease. Clear? More number of cells means for one cell, the total resources available for one cell will decrease. So capacity has decreased. Capacity decreased, but still we are able to increase the quality, that the quality of the voice channel that is being received. So interference decrease, so S by I ratio increase. So signal to interference ratio is increased by increasing the cluster size. Hope this is clear for you. And the converse case also I have pinpointed in the next slide. That is, if you are decreasing the value of n, just I'll take one more second to finish. If I am decreasing n, cluster size decrease. If cluster size is decrease means more number of cells, more channels are allocated per cell, so capacity increase. But at the same time, D will close. D will be very small. Distance between the co-channel will be very less. In that case, interference increase. If increase the interference means the quality will be less, or SIR decrease. S by I ratio will decrease. So, which means that always there exists a trade-off. There should be a trade-off required between the capacity and the SIR. You have to maintain both aspects. That is the main challenge faced by the system designers. So I'll stop at this point. Just go through this PDF. I'll share this PDF in the classroom. Go through this. If any doubts, you can ask. This is very important for you. Okay. How the capacity and the SIR ratio are changing with respect to the value of capital N. Shall I stop now? Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.